The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning to our Contours Travel webinar. First of all, I would like to start asking if you can hear me. If you can you please send just a yes and or like yes, I can hear you, a message on the white box. Oh, great, excellent. All right, so let's start. Today we're going to talk about the northeast of Brazil. So the northeast of Brazil has a beautiful coastline and a few destinations that maybe you haven't heard of, or maybe you don't sell very often, or and maybe that's why you don't sell that yet. All right. So what we're going to cover today is who we are, why you should book through us, information about the northeast of Brazil, and then we have some question time at the end. Okay, so Contours Travel has been introducing travelers to the wonders of Latin America for over 40 years. We've been in the market since 1975. We design exclusive tailor-made itineraries, and we also offer some group departures. You can feel confident that specialists will be taking care of you, your itinerary, and your clients. We offer comprehensive pre-departure information and 24 hours emergency assistance by our ground operators while the clients are traveling. Okay, so like last week, we're going to talk about Brazil, which is the largest country in Latin America, the world's 5th largest economy in area and population. It's got 26 states and a federal district separated in 5 regions. One of these regions is the Northeast that we're going to talk about today. Okay, so we're going to start with Salvador. Actually, I'll show you on the map what the region I'm going to be talking about. It's right here, this region here. So we're going to start with Salvador, which is one of the oldest colonial cities in the Americas. And it's known by its Portuguese colonial architecture, as you can see these beautiful colorful houses, but also its coastline as well. So it's also the city where one of the largest parties in the world, the Carnival in Salvador, is very famous as well. A lot of culinary wonders, and you have a bit of Afro culture as well, Afro-Brazilian culture, and some beautiful, beautiful beaches close to it. So that photo that you can see on your bottom left-hand side is of Praia do Forte, or Forte Beach, which is 80 kilometers away from Salvador. So you have beaches in Salvador too, but you have some other beautiful ones just out of town. In that one, you actually can choose to stay there, and they have a beautiful project to protect sea turtles, which is really interesting as well as like restaurants and small shops in its village. So to get to Salvador, you can fly from it's got an international airport, so you can fly from the main cities of Brazil and some other destinations internationally as well, including the United States and Europe. Where to stay in Salvador, you can choose to send your clients to stay in the historical center, which is called Pelourinho, where all those colorful houses are, or you can actually take clients to stay by the beach. So the first 2 hotels at the top, the Hotel Pestana Convento do Carmo and Hotel Vila Bahia, they are more historical hotels located in the historical part of town. And you have the Aranyami or the Zenc by Tauke, which are closer to Rio Vermelho Beach. Or you can also, as I said before, choose to put them just out of town if they want more beach break for themselves. Out of Salvador as well, we have an island called Tinharé, which got on its top of the island the village of Morro de Sao Paulo. So Morro de Sao Paulo is unique because it's a car-free village. So it's got beautiful palm-fringed beaches, strong surf. The village has restaurants, small shops, great place to relax. And then you ask me, how am I going to get there? Because it's in an island. So you have basically two options. You actually have three, but I'm going to explain why I would just give two. One is the air shuttle. So you take like a small plane, which takes only 20 minutes from Salvador, or you can take a catamaran that is going to transfer the client to about 2 hours. The reason why I haven't mentioned the third option, because it's actually related to a lot of public transport, and we don't even know how long that's exactly going to take, because it depends on the timetable of the day. So I would not recommend booking that way, even though some clients may read about it and say like, oh, that's much cheaper or whatever. I would not recommend. Okay, in terms of accommodation, in Morro de Sao Paulo, we are looking at boutique accommodation by the beach. So when we're talking about like small places. So even though you're reading like a resort, there is actually not that big. So we're talking about places with 20, 15, 10 rooms. But it's quite beautiful and exclusive, and you can actually just relax. Great for honeymooners, for example, to go to and just relax by the beach. Okay, now going to another, so Salvador is it's a capital of one of the states in the Northeast. Now we're going to talk about Natal. Natal, you can also fly from international, it's got an international airport. You fly from all the main cities of Brazil. You can technically drive as well from, let's say, one of the other capitals, which is, for example, João Pessoa, which is only 180 kilometers away. So Natal is known by its extensive coast sand dunes, and it's got a lot of traces of history as well. So, for example, you have the 16th century Portuguese fortress to visit, but a must-do day tour from Natal is actually a buggy tour on the Jericoacoara dunes. So basically, you're picked up at your hotel by a buggy, a driver on a buggy, and they take you on all these different beaches along the sand dunes. It can be really fun as well, a bit of adrenaline going up and down the dunes. It's really great. El Salvador, the city also has its coastline. In the case of Natal, it's actually, they have an avenue called Via Costeira where most of the hotels are. It's a 15-kilometer avenue, so you have lots of resorts by the beach on that road. So you are going to have more like the big resort type of things. You do have some option of boutique hotels too, but for example, the Ocean Palace and the Serres Natal, they are big, as in like 300-room type of resorts, and you can have like your smaller ones as well, like the Manori Praia or the Christie Hotel. It's not really that big, that one. All right, so now we're actually going to talk about an itinerary that you can do in Northeast, which is really interesting. It's called the Route of Emotions. So the way it's showing here, it's actually not going to be the route that I'm going to, or maybe the way I'm going to talk about, because this one starts in Fortaleza and finishes in São Luís. The way I think it's interesting to do would be starting from São Luís and finishing in Fortaleza, but you can do either or. So the Route of Emotions combines 3 states in the Northeast and 3 of the most rare and lush tourist destinations in Brazil. So we're talking about the Lencois Maranhenses National Park, the Parnaiba River Delta, and the Jericoacoara region, or it's also called Jeri, in beautiful beaches around there. All right, so day 1 and 2. So the way we're going to start in the capital of the state of Maranhão, which is called São Luís. So you're just going to arrive at São Luís. It's also got your traces of colonial architecture there too. You spend the first night in São Luís to depart on the next morning for you to go to the town of Vassouras, which is going to sleep on the second day. So day 2, that's where you're going to go to Lencois Maranhenses National Park. So Lencois Maranhenses National Park is a protected area of Brazil North Atlantic coast. It's known by its vast desert landscape of tall white sand dunes and seasonal rainwater lagoons. So what you can see there in those beautiful photos, so these sand dunes, once it rains and things like that, they create these beautiful lagoons. Lençóis in Portuguese actually means sheet, so it's like bedding, like a sheet of sand dunes with the beautiful lagoons made by the water. It's actually an amazing, beautiful place. Then on day 3, you're going to leave that part and you're going to go towards the Parnaiba River Delta. So you go to Vassouras first, which is actually another, so it will be like this. So it's an example of like a smaller Lençóis. And over there you can also enjoy the local fauna such as monkeys and things like that. You spend the night in the town of Vassouras. Then on the next day you go to Parnaiba, where you're going to go to the town of Parnaiba to see the Parnaiba River Delta. So on day 4 you're already going to go on a fast boat day trip, so you can see a bit of the delta. So this delta is situated between the states of Maranhão and Piauí in Brazil. And its Parnaiba River is actually one of the few rivers in the world with a mouth open to the sea. So that's where the waters of the river meets the waters of the sea, which is quite interesting and beautiful. Then we're going to talk about days 5 to 8. So on day 5, you're going to travel towards Jericoacoara, which is a resort town with wide beaches and vast sand dunes. So that first day is to arrive there, so you have a look at the beautiful scenery you have there. On day 6, you're going to visit some of the freshwater lagoons that you have there, which are quite beautiful. And on day 7, you're actually going to be transferred to the capital of the state of Ceará, which is called Fortaleza. Fortaleza, like Natal, it's got beautiful beaches along the city as well, but you also have your sand dunes and beaches just out of town to visit. But day 8, basically you go to Fortaleza airport to depart to your next destination. Alright, so the last destination we're going to talk about is actually not part of the continent, so it's an archipelago. So Fernando de Noronha, where you can see there, it's a volcanic archipelago located 350 kilometers from Natal, which is the closest destination to the island in the continent. And it's named after its largest island, which is Fernando de Noronha. So there are daily flights from either Recife, which is this other capital of the state of Pernambuco in the northeast, or Natal that we talked about before. From Recife is about an hour and 40 minutes, and from Natal it's about an hour and 10 minutes flying to Fernando de Noronha. So Fernando de Noronha is a protected national marine park, an ecological sanctuary with an amazing coastline and diverse ecosystems. So it's renowned by undeveloped beaches, scuba diving, snorkeling, because on the clear waters of Fernando de Noronha you can see sea turtles, rays, dolphins, and sharks even, but just like reef sharks. It's an amazing destination, especially for honeymooners. It's very exclusive. So when we're talking about accommodation, we're talking about small hotels which have 4 rooms like Pousada na Iepe, 7 rooms like Pousada del Mares, or the biggest one would be like that we would recommend, the Pousada do Vale, which is about 12 rooms. But my favorite would be the Pousada Maravilha, which has got only 8 rooms. It's a beautiful location, great service, and the clients will absolutely love. So if your clients want to see a little bit different around something different around Brazil, they want to relax, they want to spend their honeymoon there, something special for the end of their trip, definitely recommend going to all these destinations that I mentioned before, but especially Fernando de Noronha. All right, so if you've been following our webinars, you know that if you attend 5 of them and you respond to the special question that I'm going to ask now and send us an email, you go on the draw for our famille in Ecuador in 2017. So the question today is, what is the distance between Fernando de Noronha and Natal? So I just talked about that before. Just send us an email and you can go to the draw for the 2017 famille. Do you have any questions for me? Just send me a message if you have any questions about Northeast Brazil. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for attending. We did have a question there. Let's open it up. By car or coach. So basically, so the question is the tour done by car or coach? So we can organize, so basically it would be part of a tailor-made itinerary. So you would be organizing that for a client. So if it's got a larger number of clients, we're going to get a larger vehicle. But if you are doing just your clients, it will be done by car. So it's not going to be necessarily a group tour. And something that I didn't mention was actually, if you want to do that in a shorter period of time, we can try to accommodate that too, even though it's going to be a bit rushed. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much for attending our webinar today. You have a great day, and I'll see you next time.